Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. You're watching Old Guy Firewood and my name is Dick. And back in the spring, I identified some trees here on my property that were either dead or dangerous leaners, and took a few of those down already and actually did some videos on those. And we're down to the last one, and we're going to go ahead and take that one down today. But before we do that, I just wanted to say a word about the tremendous loss that we suffered in the firewood community this past week. Chuck Rogers from Iron Oak Sawmill passed away this past Sunday as a result of a heart attack, which he had about a week earlier. And it's really hit me hard and hit a lot of the other people who are in the firewood YouTube channel community also. Chuck and his wife Deb ran sawmill service. They cut and split firewood. They had some fantastic videos on their channel, Iron Oak Sawmill. And Chuck was just a super guy. When I first started my channel, he was very gracious and very helpful in comments on my videos. When I would comment on his videos, he'd always reply. He was just a super guy. And back in October, when I went to Paul Bunyan's show, I actually had a chance to meet Chuck and Deb, and they were just super people. I was staying at the Fairfield Inn and had checked in Thursday night before the show and was in the lobby, and Chuck and Deb walked in, and of course I recognized them right away. And I went up and introduced myself, and they recognized me. They knew who I was. They talked about my videos, and from the very first moment, they just made me feel like they had known me forever. Just super nice people. Spent some time with them that evening. Spent some time at breakfast with them the next morning, Friday morning. Spent a lot of time with them Friday evening at Back 40 live stream, which was live from the Fairfield Inn there, and talked with Chuck and Deb about the show, about various things, but just a super nice person. Deb's the same way, and as I said, I don't think Chuck had ever met a stranger. He was the kind of guy that would just make you feel, you felt it in your heart that he was, you were like someone he'd known for forever. And I'm certainly going to miss him. The firewood community is certainly going to miss him. I'd recommend that you go over and check out their channel, Iron Oak Sawmill. And Deb, I want you to know, if you're watching this, that my prayers are with you and your family and all who love Chuck, to be able to have strength and peace through this time. Very difficult time, I know. But Chuck, great guy, gone but never forgotten. Rest in peace, my friend. Okay, now I think we'll go ahead and head outside and take a look at this tree we need to take down. As I mentioned earlier, back in the spring, I identified 4 trees on my property that were either dead or dying or leaning towards my shop or my house that had to come down. And I tagged those, and I'll do a little bit of a flashback and go back and pick some bits out of my previous videos and show you when I tagged those and when I cut them down. There were 4 of them. 3 of them are done. The first one was a large oak tree. We'll take a look at that one now. But I'm going to go ahead and tag this one. It definitely needs to come out. Next one was a huge hickory tree that was dying in the top. It was dropping some branches from time to time, and it had to lean towards my shop. So that one had to go, and let's take a look at that. This big old hickory tree definitely needs to come down too. That's one huge old hickory. I can't even get my arms around it.
third one was a dead oak tree that, again, had that lean towards my shop, and it had been dead for about a year. So went ahead and tagged that one that day, and then subsequently went ahead and cut that one down. And here's some clips from that action. Okay, I've got one more dead oak over here, that one right in the center. That's been dead for a while, and unfortunately it's got a lean over here in this direction right towards my shop. So another one. That brings us to the fourth one, which was a hickory tree that was pretty much rotten on the inside, and not too far from my house, and unfortunately leaning in that direction. So here's where I tagged that. Appreciate it. But as I say, my plan is to do a shallow notch on the other side, good angle but shallow, and then come in through here and leave a couple inches of holding wood on each side, and then hopefully I can give it a pull and it'll go that way. And that brings us back to today, and here's the one we're looking at taking down today. It's that last hickory tree, and let me turn you around here and show you what we're working with. It's a pretty good sized tree, but here's the problem. At the bottom, as you can see, it's pretty much hollow. It's probably got about, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches of good solid wood all the way around it. And my original plan was to drop it right in that direction. But since I tagged it, I've installed my axe throwing target here, and I've got some lights up here, and I'm not going to move that thing. It's heavy as heck, and it's leveled and anchored down with some rebar stakes about 2 foot in the ground. So I'm going to have to change the plan on this one. And I think what I'm going to do is try to drop it right over here, straight ahead towards that oak tree. Got to be careful. Got my flagpole here, got my house right back here, and it is leaning a little bit in that direction. So my plan now is to cut a shallow notch right in this area, and then leave holding wood here and directly opposite on the other side, and come in from here and put a rope in it just for safety. It's got some weight going that way, the way I want it to go, but I'm going to go ahead and put a rope in it and make sure that we can pull it in the direction we need to if we have to. So I'm going to get the air cannon out, shoot a line up in here, pull the bull rope up, and we'll get that anchored and go from there. All right, the first thing I want to do is load this throw bag into the air cannon. And if you haven't seen this air cannon, I've used it in some previous videos, and I actually did a video on how to build one. Built this thing for about 60 bucks. Get that air bag, or that throw bag, all the way down in there. I'll take my air tank and charge it up. Looking to put, that's pretty high, probably about 80 pounds in here. Okay, look out, Clifford. Right up through the notch, first try. Go ahead and drop this bag down. And I'll go ahead and attach my bull rope. All right, let's go ahead and pull this rope up in the tree. All right, I think what I'm going to do with this one is just base tie it. I've got another rope that I can go ahead and add to this one. All right, we've got our rope tied to the base, goes up through that crotch, then down here over to that oak tree. And I've got another rope I'm going to tie on there so that I can go back further in the wood yard here and set my tractor up for the pull. All right, we've got everything set up now, but we're getting some pretty strong winds coming through here, cold front coming through, and as you can see, that wind is heading directly towards my house. So I think we're going to have to wait until the wind dies down to cut this tree down. Well, I think that's going to do it for today's video. Just no sense in trying to cut that tree down with the wind blowing the way it is. So probably tomorrow, if it calms down, I'll go ahead and cut that down, and I'll videotape that and include it in my next video. But for now, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all my subscribers. Please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please leave a comment down below. I appreciate your comments, and I enjoy reading them and answering them. But until the next time, as I always say, keep moving, and we'll see you then.